Ranking the best starting 5 for each pick is for sure a difficult task and requires a lot of time. But if you wanna know which have been some of the best and which have been instead some of the worst picks in NBA history, you came in the right place. The video will be divided in 3 parts and today we are covering 60 to 41, so this one may not be the more exciting one of the 3, but after a few picks I promise it will start getting interesting. For some picks it was difficult to find decent player for a specific position, so we may see some small ball or Twin Towers lineups. Before we start, with over 300 players on this list, I would for sure mispronounce some of them, so don't lynch me for that. And as that said, let's get started with the video. And the worst starting 5 on this list belongs to pick 52, with the point guard AJ Price, Fred Hoiberg as the shooting guard, also the best player on this pick. Donald Royal is going to be the small forward, and a bit surprisingly, Jaden McDaniels at the power forward, who was just drafted on 2019 from Charlotte. Steve Kuberski is going to be the center, he played in the 70s and is a 2-time NBA champion. All these players average around 5 to 6 points, so not really much to talk about, apart for Jalen McDaniels, who have some upside and may end up becoming the best player on this pick. Another bad pick is going to be pick 59. Out of the 50 players selected with this pick in NBA history, just 11 of them played at least 1 minute in the league, and out of these 11 players, just 2 of them played more than 35 games. Cedric Toney is going to be the point guard for this team, at least he played 112 games, but he just averaged 4 points and 2 assists. Following DJ Strawberry as the shooting guard, Jaron Blossomgame as the small forward is currently blossoming his game, we can say like that, in the G League. Owie Montgomery at power forward, averaging 7 points and almost 4 rebounds. But the best player on this pick is going to be at the center position with Pat Cummings, who averaged almost 10 points and 6 rebounds a game. He had 4 seasons in the 80s between Dallas and New York, averaging over 13 points and 8 rebounds. Moving forward, we have pick 55, with 2 active players at the 1 and 2 spot, Patty Mills and Etwan Moore, both solid 3-point shooters. Moore can also bring some defense to the team. Jeremy Evans is going to be the 3, an athletic wing who never developed his offensive game, can be remembered because he won the slam dunk contest back in 2012. Kenny Gattison will be the 4, who averaged almost 8 points and 5 rebounds during the 80s and 90s. The center is going to be Geoffrey Lauvergne. He was already out of the league on 2018 after just 3 seasons. At the 57th spot we have pick 54, where for the first time we have 5 players who average over 7 points a game. I don't know if we should celebrate for that or is another sign that is another bad pick. For sure, Sam Mitchell is going to be the best player on this pick at power forward, averaging almost 9 points and 4 rebounds. Shandon Anderson is going to be the small forward, 1-time NBA champion with Miami on 2006. Bob Sims at point guard and Mark Blount as the center. Not a great rebounder or a shot blocker, but he had a solid jumper. And last, the shooting guard, where we have Shake Milton. Just 2 seasons in the league with Philadelphia at the moment, but is the kind of player who can thrive in the modern NBA, shooting over 45% from 3 this season. Next, we have the worst pick in the 40s, with pick 44. Malik Rose is the best player at power forward. Not great numbers for him, just 6 and 4, but is the type of player you need to win games. He's a 2-time NBA champion with the Spurs as well. Dave Robish as the center with almost 10 and 6, but he had 8 seasons for Denver between ABA and NBA, averaging over 12 points. Chase Budinger at the small forward. Now instead of playing basketball, he became a beach volley player. Damian Dotson is going to be the shooting guard and Andrew Harrison at the point guard. At the 55th spot, we have pick 58, with Tom Owens as the center, 11.5 points for him on average. Finally, the first guy to average over 10 points. His best year was for sure in Portland, where he averaged almost 19 and 9 rebounds. Kurt Rambis at power forward, like Malik Rose before, not very big numbers for him, just 5 and 5, but do the small things that can help your team, and is a 4-time NBA champion with the Lakers. Henry Beebe at point guard, father of Mike Beebe, over 8 points and 3 assists for him, also 1-time NBA champion with the Knicks back on 1973. Lester Hudson at the shooting guard, just 5 seasons for him and he was out already on 2015. Jordan McRae is the small forward. He had a few games with Detroit before the league was suspended where he did well, maybe they will confirm him. Next, we have pick 53, with Anthony Mason as the best player at small forward, almost 11 points, over 8 rebounds and 3.4 assists for him. He was the 6th man of the year on 1994-95, one-time All-Star and both All-Defensive Second Team and All-NBA Third Team on 1996-97. The peak of his career was for sure helping New York reaching the finals on 1994. Even at 34 years old, he played more than 40 minutes a game over 80 games. The rest of the starting five include Todd Murphy at power forward, Tom Barker as the center, Russell Butler at the shooting guard and one-time NBA champion Emmett Bryant at the point guard. Next pick is going to be pick 51, with Monte Morris, Bubbles Hawkins, Kyle Korver, AC Coleman and Jim Patterson. Hawkins averaged close to 13 points, so can be the primary scorer for the team. Korver, together with Monte Morris, can space the floor. Morris is also still young and is already a solid backup point guard for Denver. Coleman and Patterson can grab rebounds and hold the paint. Next, pick 57, with one of the greatest steals of the draft ever.
With the 57th selection in the 1999 NBA draft, the San Antonio Spurs select Emmanuel Ginobili from Argentina.
Four-time NBA champion, other achievement as well during his career, will also go down in history as one of the best six-men ever. But six-man, in my opinion, is a bit reductive. During his prime, Ginobili was one of the best players in the league, and for sure one of the most exciting to watch play. The rest of the starting five have Frank Brickowski at power forward, Marcin Gortat as the center, with almost 10 and 8. But the reason why this team is lower in the list is because the next two players didn't average very solid number in the league. Darren Day almost 7 points and Drew Barry with just 2 points and 2 assists. Now we go down with pick 42 with Stephen Jackson as the best player with his 15 points, 4 rebounds and 3 assists a game. He also got a few seasons during his prime with over 25 and 5 for Golden State. He was a bit crazy sometimes, but overall a good defender and a solid shooter, who was a one-time NBA champion with the Spurs. We have two active players on this starting five with Patrick Beverley and Darius Bertans at point guard and power forward. Ronald Murray is going to be the shooting guard and Zaza Pachulia as the center. Another name for the center position could have been Thomas Bryant, but Pachulia is a two-time NBA champion and he can get his job done. Ranked 50, we have pick 34, quite low for a pick in the 30s. The best player is going to be Norm Van Lier with 12, 5 and 7 assists a game. 8-time All-Defensive Team, 3-time All-Star and he led the league in assists 1 year during the 70-71 season. Now 3 active players, starting with Devonte Graham at the shooting guard, CJ Miles, who have some issues at staying healthy but when he's healthy is a solid player, Jack Crowder at the power forward, and I'm not kidding, Joe Strouder as the center, who averaged almost 9 points and 10 rebounds. Next, we go with pick 50 with Larry Kinnon as the best scorer, 17-8 and almost 3 assists for him. He played with the Spurs mainly during the ABA and the NBA, averaging over 20 points during 4 seasons. He's a 5-time All-Star and his record of 11 steals in 1 game still stands now. Ryan Gomez at the power forward with 10 and 5, Darius Songaila as the center and Geoff Houston as the point guard with close to 9 points and 5 assists a game. Last but not least, Steve Kerr as the shooting guard. Despite not having Kinnon numbers, Kerr is a 5-time NBA champion and one of the best 3-point shooters in NBA history, averaging over 45% during his career. So it's up to you to decide who is gonna be the best player on this pick between Kinnon and Steve Kerr. We go down just by 1 and we talk about pick 49. For the first time 3 players average over 10 points. Eddie Johnson is for sure the best player with 15 points and 5 assists. Rich Jones at power forward with his NBA stats that say 10 points and 6 rebounds. But he just played his last season in the NBA before he played in the ABA where he averaged 16 points, 7 rebounds and 3 assists. Andre Bletch will be the center, he had a couple of good seasons in Washington and he averaged 10 and 5. Haywood Workman will be the point guard and the 3-time NBA champion James Jones, who can knock down threes, will be the last piece for this team. Next is going to be pick 56 with Mikey Johnson as the best player, 14-7 and 3 assists for him. His best year was for sure the one in Indiana during the 79-80 season where he averaged 19 points, over 8 rebounds, close to 2 steals a game and 1.4 blocks. After, we have another solid player with Luis Scola, and I ended up putting Amri Johnson at the small forward because there were no other option for this position. Chris Carr will be the shooting guard and Ramon Session at the point guard. Now, he's always been injured in the past few years, but he used to put always over 10 points and 4 to 5 assists a game. Pick 38 will come next, and Spencer Dinwiddie can in the future become the best player on this pick, but at the moment I will still give it to Mehmet Okur, who is the center for the team. His best time was in Utah, where he averaged 15 points, close to 8 rebounds in 7 seasons, shooting 38% from 3. He was a good low-post defender, not much of a rim protector, but as I said, he can shoot threes very well. He was a one-time All-Star and also won the championship with Detroit during his rookie season. I put Chandler Parson at the power forward. He used to be good, nowadays he's more injury-prone, and I'm not sure if to count him as an active player or no. Doug West will be the small forward with almost 10 points a game, and the point guard Jim McElroy with 10 and 4. Overall, a solid offensive team, but may struggle a little bit on defense. We go again down just by 1 with pick 37, where we have the best backcourt so far with 2 former Laker players, Nick Van Exel at point guard and Archie Clark as the shooting guard. Van Exel got over 14 points and 7.6 assists during his career, and I believe he could have been pretty solid in modern NBA, with his quickness, deep threes and his ability to finish to the rim. Archie Clark also averaged solid numbers, 16 and 5 assists for him, with a few seasons over 20 and 8. The small forward is going to be Larry Steele, not a volume scorer, but he was quite efficient. At power forward, we have Luke Mbamute, who can bring some defense to the team, and the center Rishwan Holmes, currently playing for the Sacramento Kings. We stay again in the 30s, and we go down to pick 35, where the best player is Draymond Green at small forward, position that he played most of the time at the beginning of his career. Carlos Boozer is going to be the power forward with 16 points and 9.5 rebounds. At the center we have DeAndre Jordan, the shooting guard is going to be Tyron Corbin, and at the point guard we have Mark Iuzzolino. The team may be looking good because you have names like Draymond Green, Carlos Boozer and DeAndre Jordan. But if we exclude Boozer, there are not many other players on this starting 5 who can score. Green also proved this season that he can be the primary option for a team. Now we go with pick 47, a lucky pick usually for guards. 4 out of the 5 best players on this pick are point guards or shooting guards, so the center is a little bit the weak spot for the starting 5 with Kurt Nimphius, who averaged 6 points and 4 rebounds, but we have Paul Millsap, who is the best player on this pick at power forward. Gerald Wilkins, brother of Dominque Wilkins at small forward, a solid defender with a funny nickname as the Jordan Stopper. It's just a nickname because when they played against didn't really work very much. Vernon Maxwell, 2-time NBA champion with the Rockets as the shooting guard, and Mo Williams at point guard. This team is quite solid in both defense and offense, with 4 players averaging over 13 points a game and are able to shoot quite efficiently from 3. At the 42nd spot, we have pick 43, with Michael Redd as one of the best scorers so far. In 11 seasons for the Bucks, he averaged 20 points a game and 26 during his peak. In 2009, he tore both ACL and MCL twice in 1 year, which compromised the rest of his career, and he retired on 2013. The rest of the starting 5 have Fred Carter at point guard. He had 6 good seasons with Philadelphia, averaging 18, 4 and 4 during the 70s. Trevor Ariza at power forward, Marcus Thornton as the shooting guard, and Jairi White as the center. Last pick, before we get into the top 40, is going to be pick 39, with another Bucks as the best player for this pick, Chris Middleton. He was drafted by Detroit in 2012, but he got traded 1 year later to the Bucks. I think if you ask them now, they will not do the trade anymore. Middleton is a 2-time All-Star and this season is averaging 21 points a game, with great efficiency and solid defense. Helping Middleton on this starting 5 will be Kevin Porter at the point guard, who is one of the most underrated passers in NBA history. He led the league in assists 4 times, and during the 78-79 season, he averaged 13.4 assists and adding 15 points. Jeremy Grant as the small forward, Jonas Jerebko at power forward, and Kevin Restani, who played during the 70s as the center. Another good defensive team, this time with also one of the best point guards so far on the list, who can give value to the shooters on this team. Pick 39 will also be the last pick on this first part. Hope you guys agreed with the rankings so far, and if you do so and you also wanna wait for the second part, remember to subscribe. Trust me, it will help. This is a new channel, I'm also trying to improve, So yeah, any little help is more than welcome, and I'll see you guys with the next video.